So let's create an acrylic painting of a lemon. In this lesson, we are going to work from dark to light, building up the body of the lemon from our dark wash to the lightest lights. We're going to learn how to successfully handle those transition areas where the lemon moves from dark to light to help make this lemon look more realistic and rounded and three-dimensional. We're also going to try to create some spatial depth in the composition by having the foreground advance and the background recede in colors that will allow us to really focus on your main event, which is the lemon. We're going to paint a shape out first with our lines and loosely fill it in with a washy paint layer, indicating cools for shadows and warms for light. So first we're going to draw it out with the paint and then we'll move to the wash. Let's do that. Remember that you want to draw with a color that you can see over your ground. Again, don't be afraid to make mistakes. With this medium in particular, we can wash out any mistakes that you make. So let's actually mix up kind of like a lighter blue and sketch out our painting with that. Okay, here we go. So I've got these 3 lemons here, and I'm going to start with the forward biggest one. And I want to continue to look at the relationships of the lemons to each other. And this is a really good place to think about gesture to get that roundness. And you can always make corrections. Let's bring that body down a little bit. Okay. Going to indicate where some of the cast shadows are. And again, put in the horizon line because that will let me have a foreground and a background and change up those colors. Make a couple of corrections here. And I think we're good to go to start painting. So as I start painting, I'm going to switch brushes. So I'm going to put that tiny little flat one down and pick up like a more sploochy round one. And remember, I'm looking for areas of dark and light. So I'm going to do color changes for those areas. Sometimes squinting at your subject matter is really useful because you can block out details and just see those transitional areas of darks and lights. In this lemon, the darkest area is in the middle. Remember, I am not going to yellow local color. Yellow is not enough to describe the darks and lights in this lemon. I will use yellow eventually. Lemons are yellow and it is a primary color, so I'm going to have to do that. But for now, I'm not going to be terribly worried about the local color or the yellow color of the lemon. Okay, so the darkest area, as I said, is kind of through the middle of this lemon. And I'm moving my brush along with the form of the lemon. I'm looking at edges of dark and light. My darkest dark is really here, but my shadows are also pretty dark. Dark shadow under the lemon will attach the lemon to the tabletop. Without those shadows, my lemons would be floating in space. And wherever I think I see that darkest dark, I can use that violet. There's a little bit right there too. Okay, so I'm going to switch brushes now. I'm going to grab a round brush and use it to loosely fill in washy areas of value, choosing different colors for the different areas of value, but not actually using white at this point. All the colors will remain saturated. this with a flat brush. I'm going to push that edge up a little bit here on this lemon as well, so that we have a nice light against the dark. And there's a couple of other areas where I have those lights as well, so I can push those. I see a couple more areas. I've also sprayed my palette because the paint will start drying on your palette, so you want to keep your mister handy. Not a bad idea. So I'm always using brush stroke to help create this round lemon. And for this painting, I can use both the warm and the cool yellow, depending on where I want to go. And as I said before, remember it's never a one color solution. Actually, the more yellow I use, the flatter this lemon will become, because I will lose my shadows. I don't want to do that. Okay, I need to bring the front of the table up a little bit lighter, so I'm going to grab a larger brush and go for a lighter value of, I kind of like that violety color, so let's do that again. I'm going to keep it more towards a warm violet because a warm color will advance. I'm just going to lighten the value a little bit. So I've mixed a warmer violet, more like a red violet. And let's see how that works. You can also do a little bit of dry brush work. Again, there's that scumbling word again, so that not all areas of this foreground need to be the same and perfectly flat and thick. I can sort of show through to that darker one. You want your foreground to be able to hold up the lemons. So it's got to have those darks underneath, and the lights on top will hold it up. Nice. Okay, let's neutralize some yellows and get some more shadows happening through the lemons. I'm going to pick up like a medium flat. For the neutralization, I'm using the cool yellow or the primary yellow mixed into some violet. So it makes kind of like just a duller violet. You could say it's almost a bit grayish. And that way I can create some shadows where I need them. It's working nicely. I think I need some more transitional areas. And you really want to squint so you can see where the brightest part of the lemon is. It's not actually up at the top, it's kind of more in through there. So I'm going to dull that back edge just a little bit. Yep. And in my background, it doesn't have to be a flat color. You can work it so you have darker areas against your lighter areas for contrast. That's a beautiful dark. There we go. That way what's in front looks brighter and lighter because of the contrast. But I don't have to go over the entire background, just where I want to show contrast from dark to light. We are very close to finishing the painting and wrapping up this lesson. At this point, what I would do is probably grab a smaller brush and put in some highlights and some smaller detail that you can see in the finished painting behind